and gentlemen, welcome back to Tomb Raider. We are about to take on... This is a hard level to describe. The whole game takes what I describe as almost a horror turn here. This is Atlantis, but not the kind of happy Disney movie style Atlantis that you would expect. This is bloody and visceral and creepy, and even the sounds from this level, that beating that sounds like a heart, and just the way the walls and the ground and these eggs that have like tendrils that move, and all these eggs will break open with enemies inside. This is how the Atlantean creatures we've been fighting are apparently created. For example, this level always felt to me like a huge change in tone for the game. To go from the cool tomb exploring and all that to this really dark and visceral kind of environment just always was a bit of a weird change for me. Now, it's cool. I love it, but it was terrifying back when I was a lot younger playing this. And this is also a pretty difficult level. It's quite long. There's a lot of places you can very easily die, and a lot of places where it's not immediately evident what you're supposed to do. But we'll get through this step by step. First thing is, going down through this room, 3 of these eggs are going to break open. One of them already has. You can kind of tell which ones are going to break because the 2 little tendrils on the side kind of slowly move up and down of active eggs. So this one to our right is going to open first. So the Uzis are going to do a hell of work for us in this level. They are our best friends. Come on. Come on. There we go. And there's going to be a number of parts in this level where we're going to have to rely on just tanking damage and healing with medipacks, which isn't ideal, but there's not a lot of places you can maneuver around. This egg here is going to be the next to open. As long as you can kind of keep your distance and maybe sidestep some of the attacks, you should be okay. So from here, we're going to grab these Uzi clips. Where we need to go is through this door, but we need to get it open. And just the fact that they get some of the textures in these tiles to move like that, it's like a beating actual living flesh. It's just so disturbing for me. Where we actually need to go is through this door, which opens as we approach, which isn't immediately evident. You know, it's not particularly obvious that it would do that. Once we get up here, one of these eggs below is going to open. I just can't remember which one. But there is a small medipack over here that we're going to grab first. And there's some shotgun shells out on this upper barrier. Or barrier? Platform. There we go. Now this one's a flyer. So they have less health, but they're a little bit more dangerous, particularly if you're on a high ground. They can knock you off edges really easily. Oh, come on, man. They take a lot less damage to kill, to be fair, than the horsemen and the ones that go around on 4 legs. But they're probably... The horsemen are definitely the most dangerous, but I'd say the flyers are probably the second most. So this switch here is going to open this door directly across from us. So that's where we're going to go. But what's in here is just another switch, which is going to open the other door at the very far end of the room. But it's also going to activate these other 2 eggs. So they're going to open as we run down. So we need to watch out for that. And I'm going to try to do it one at a time. There we go. So this one is... well, he's a runner or a crawler, whatever you want to call them. And he runs straight up. So as long as we position ourselves here, as he comes up... oh no, he's not going to come up. He usually does. He would usually come up the stairs. And we can take our shots at him. There we go. Again, it's really difficult to make sure that they don't blow up on top of you, because it's just so much damage. If they're literally right on top of you, it can completely just kill you. So with this open, we can take our way down. And there's our last switch here. And this one will open the main door. So that's where we are gonna go. So we're gonna hit a quick save here because this next room is huge. So we've got a huge lava pit, and these fires tend to be pretty prevalent in this room. Every time we come out into it, which we'll do many, many times, we're going to have a couple of these to deal with. There we go. So if we take a second just to take stock of this room, we've obviously got a place to go here to the right, which is where we're going to go. But the whole way up, there are numerous more of those flyers. But there's also a load of different ledges and doors of which we will be coming out of at different points. And this whole level is basically just going in, around, and popping out at a higher point on this room. And at the very, very top, that's where we want to be going. Now, we need to go that way. But first, what we're going to do is grab the first secret of the level. So you'll need to drop and grab this bottom ledge. And this is where the secret is. It's not a particularly difficult secret in quite a difficult level. And the secrets in this level I don't find to be particularly difficult at all. Considering the level of difficulty some of the secrets in the past have been. But once we get these, this route actually cuts out a bit of work as well. Because by just dropping down like that, it means you don't even have to deal with these bladed doors that if we were on the outside ledge, they would be closing and working as a trap. So it just completely cuts those out, which I'm perfectly happy with. So in this next room, we have a door, we have an egg, and we have a huge gap. By jumping across this gap, it will crack open the egg. But we don't want to do that just yet, because we have to get that door open. We're going to come out at that top ledge, but where we actually need to go is down. And we need to grab this crack first. So you have to jump from the very back of this platform in order to grab it. Otherwise, you just bounce back off the wall. And from here, just release, grab, and away you go. Just a rinse and repeat of what we've done a couple of times now. And behind here, ran right by it, is the switch for the door. So with that done, we can head back up this way, grab some Uzi clips. I think they realize that you're going to rely heavily on the Uzi for this level, so they just kind of throw a lot of Uzi ammo at you. A simple standing jump here will get you back down. And with that done, I'm going to hit a quick save here just in case I screw this up. Because it is very possible that I will screw this up. I generally prefer to kill this guy. You can just completely ignore him if you want. But I just kill him for completion's sake more than anything, to be honest. Come on. just to have it done. We don't come back here or anything like that. He's there to be killed, so I tend to do so. Now, we get a bit of water, which isn't something we get to see a whole lot, to be honest. And I'm perfectly happy with dealing with water instead of lava for a change, because it means we can fall. I'd rather not, but it means we can. One thing to really watch out for here is the spikes down the bottom, but also, I'm going to hit a quick save here. And this level in particular really hits home the advantage you get on the PC with being able to save wherever you want. We're going to jump to here, but as soon as we land, a boulder's going to come rolling down at us. So we need to hit a standing jump straight away to get up to that second ledge. So, boulder, get out of the way. It is a pretty tight jump if you stop for any minute, and if you mistime this jump, you can end up just rolling or sliding straight down into that spike pit, which is not ideal. So, from here, where we're aiming to go is across to those other two flat platforms there. So a running jump should do the job, and we can just slide down to here and then jump up to here. So in order to progress, we need to slide down, go all the way around. There's a switch over there that'll open this door. But what we're going to do instead, they're kind of hard to see, but there's another two platforms here that are flat, but they're not darkly colored, so you may not see them. And by going up these two, you can now see that there's a little tunnel at the top here, and that's exactly where we're going to go, because this is our second secret. Again, not particularly difficult to get to, just requires a little bit of attention to detail to see that you can jump up those. And they give you a lot, like 3 whole pickups. I'm not going to complain. So once we've got that, what we're going to do is, instead of jumping and whatnot, we're just going to slide the whole way straight down. So through this door is where we got to go, and through that door is where we're going to go. But in order to get it open, we need to take a running jump and a grab. There is another door here to my left, which, if you screw this up, actually, to be fair, I've kind of misspoken a little bit. There's actually 2 switches in this room. The one up here actually activates. It allows us to get where we need to go in the next room, so we do need to hit it. But the actual switch to open the door is under the water, which I may have slightly forgotten about and mixed up the 2 switches. So this one, it won't even show you what it does when you press it, but it moves some platforms in the next room that allow us to get across. So we hit it. It doesn't even sound anything, which is fine. And then we've got a jump, and it's kind of just down under here. So this switch here is what we're looking at. So we need to hit it. That'll open the door, and it's on a timer. So we need to book it fast as we can. At least we don't have the boulder to deal with this time around, though. So running jump. Standing jump. This one's going to be a running jump. See the doors open there? From here, we can take a standing jump across, slide down, and slip in. It's not too unforgiving time frame wise. Like, we've still got a bit of time if we had taken it a bit slower, but so in here these platforms move around, I believe. There we go, there's the door closing. And if we'd come in here without hitting that switch, we could have gone back through this door to go and hit the switch. But I believe that switch over on the far side opens this door back out. But we've opened up where we need to go, so we're going to take a run and jump to this lower platform. From here, there's actually nothing down there at the bottom. But we're going to take it slow so as we don't screw anything up here. So because we've hit the switch in that previous room, that switch is now inaccessible because these platforms, the platforms have now moved. We don't need to hit it because everything's where it needs to be anyway. So from here we can go follow this. Watch out for the spike pit that is kind of cleverly concealed. And once we get to the top here, we've got some water. Again, a nice welcome change, which I'm perfectly okay with. In here, there's going to be some shotgun shells and another switch. We can take our time with this. This isn't one of those cases where we're super worried of running out of breath. So we can hit... No, Lara, don't be doing that now. I want you to hit the switch. There we go. And that'll open the door behind us here. And we'll take this and up. I don't think there's anything in the second room that I can remember. No, all clear. Okay. So, we have another bladed door here, weirdly enough, that doesn't seem to want to activate, which I'm fine with. It only seems to activate when we're out here. We do have another flyer coming at us, so we need to deal with that. And what we're going to do is hit a large medipack. Get in there. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to drop back into the water. Thought I had more space than I did. This is one of those cases where the flyers can really do some damage. Because they're so invasive into your space. There we go. Oh, that was a bit close. I didn't quite run the whole way. So from here, we're gonna... So you can see where we started now. Right down there was where we took our first jump with the first secret. And we can see a little bit further up now. Not a whole lot. This room is honestly absolutely huge. I cannot even begin to describe how large this room is. And again, we're kind of at that point where one mistake on the jumps and you're dead. So it's pretty harsh in the punishments in that regard. But once we're careful, we should be fine. Now, this room can be a bit of a tricky one to figure out. I don't actually know if there is a way of figuring this out and doing it right, or if it's literally just trial and error. Not 100%. I know what the sequence is. So we've got a set of switches. There's 5 switches, 2 in their corner, 2 in this corner, and 1 in the middle. We've also got 4 eggs. So what these switches do is they open. There's a set of 3 doors here. And the correct switches open the doors. So we've got to hit 3 correct switches to open those 3 doors. The correct switches are middle, left, I think one of these eggs activates at this point. Yeah, you can see it ready to go there. It will pop as we go around, but that's fine. We can deal with one. And the last switch is the left one on this side. So that's all 3 doors open. As long as we don't hit any other switches, those other 3 eggs won't open. And from here, we can just swim straight through. Now, is this struggling to remember what's in the next room. I feel like it's... Yeah. Okay. This is a really interesting one. I thought this might have been the next one, but I wasn't 100%. So, before I hit this switch, you can't really go around this way. Despite the fact that this entire hallway fills me with the creeps, we can't go that way. We will come from that way in a second. This is probably the only time in this game we've ever seen a trap reset. So, when we walk into this room, a boulder will activate. It's no threat to us whatsoever. It just rolls and it blocks our exit. The door here closes behind us, and the only way we have to go is through there, which is the other side of that door that we were in the red flesh-looking tunnel. What we actually need to do is pull this block and block the route that boulder took on its way down. And this, I imagine, was a pretty hard one to figure out, because when we go back around, this trap resets. The boulder disappears and reappears back at the top, and when you walk into the room, the boulder rolls again. And that's never happened before. So I can't imagine it's something that people would have thought was a thing. So you can see there now, the boulder's gone. Just a bizarre change of the way the game works. So now when we run out, the boulder gets stopped by the block and we can just continue on. An interesting puzzle, to say the least, but just an odd way of doing it, to be honest. Now we've got another flyer here. Take a couple of steps back. He'll come down to our level now. We can finish him off. There we go. So again, we can take a quick look. We can see another ledge there and a door. Can't see a whole lot more up above past that though. Although you can kind of see a little bit if you at the very top. But we have come quite a distance, as you can see. So from here now, we're going to take a running jump across to here. And on into the next room. Ah, yes. This room. So that one will open as soon as you come in, and this one on the right will also open if you step too much further into the room. I try to make a point of doing this one at a time, because fighting two of these at the same time, it's really not a fun time. So this room is a bit misleading. So you've got this slope that leads down to a spike pit, and you can see the door on the other side of the room. I've been caught out a couple of times by this room because I don't think those white paths on the opposite side of the spike pit look like slopes. But they are. And if you land on them, you will die. You might think, oh, I can just grab the ledge and shimmy across, but no, as soon as you even try to grab that ledge, the spikes will actually still kill you. Because apparently the gap between the ledge and the spikes is too small, and it will just kill you anyway. So what you have to aim for is the red fleshy paths, which I wouldn't have thought was immediately evident, but, you know, so be it. From here, we've got a few more pickups to grab. They're really generous in this level for pickups, like really generous. It's like last level they went, yeah, we're going to take everything away from you, and then this level they went, actually, we were kind of mean last level. Here, have loads of stuff. Okay, so this next room I find to be quite tricky. Once we come around to here, a flyer appears, and it's fine, because we can take him out, no major problems. But this room is quite harsh in if you slip up, and it's not immediately evident how you're supposed to get around. This here is a slope. We can't get to the top of it, we can't really go that way. I don't even know what this is. This thing we're standing on is. Where we actually need to go is to take this diagonal jump. Now, This next jump is tricky because not only is it a kind of a difficult jump to curve around the corner, but as soon as we land, that egg pops and a flyer will come straight out, making it extremely dangerous because we can get knocked straight off into the lava. So I'm going to get the shotgun on the ready. If we get this jump right, we won't need to grab. As soon as we land, start popping those shots off. 3 shots will take him out. And as long as you can get that off, you should be fine. That's probably the most difficult part of this room. You can hear some more Atlanteans groaning, particularly here because they're actually just on the other side of that wall. I'll show you where they are in a second. We're going to get to it. Now, here again is a point where I've made mistakes. If you try to jump straight across and land on the red pulsating part, you'll slide straight down into the lava. There's nothing you can do. You got to aim for the white platform there, because that isn't a slope, even though it kind of looks like it. Once you get across to here, I like to take this opportunity to take out the Atlanteans that I was talking about over there. They do start shooting at you, which can be a bit of a problem because you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room here. Oh, fuck. You see my point. You know, they start shooting at you and just trying to move is dangerous. So it's one of those points where you kind of just have to tank the damage. But I will get back to there and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, let's try this again. And let's try not to screw it up this time. So those attacks do quite a bit of damage. Did I get both of them? Maybe the explosion of the first one actually killed the second one. So we kind of lucked out on that one a little bit, and I'm okay with that. So with that done, I'm going to hit a quick save now, just so as I don't have to run through that gauntlet again. And from here, we're going to do the same thing as the far side, and we're going to take a run and jump from this white platform across. Don't go left here, that is a slope, and it'll chuck you straight down into the lava, which is obviously not what we want to be doing. From here, we just pull the switch, which, again, it doesn't really tell you what it does, but it opens a door. I'll point out the door when we get to it. Take a run and jump across here so you don't have to worry about the slopes, and then pull this block out. And this door behind this block is what we just opened. Again, pretty sneakily hidden, not immediately evident. The reason that I killed those Atlanteans from where I did is because the other option is to fight them either over there or from here. And I find it much more dangerous to try to fight them with this trap going off and slopes all over the place. I prefer to fight them from back there. The other option is to actually just jump over and deal with them like point blank, which again, I don't like that option. Yeah, looks like they're both dead. Okay, that's fine by me. So from up here then, we get a couple more pickups. Small medipack and even more Uzi clips. And it's going to lead us back out into the rather large room. But for oh no, it's not this time. Damn it. There's one time, I think it must be the next one, where we don't get a crawler or a flyer. And it's honestly quite refreshing to not have to. There we go. Yeah, it must be the next one then. So from here, we can just take another skip and a jump across. You can see how much of a distance we've covered. We can't even see the lava at the bottom now. And from here, you can see that big platform at the top and a giant egg, which you're probably not supposed to be able to see, but that egg is very important. From here now, we've got another lava room. No enemies here, just a puzzle room. I don't find this one to be particularly difficult. But it's good to make sure you're careful going through this anyway. So we need to jump across to here and hit the switch, which is going to move all of those platforms in the middle of the lava pit around. And that will allow us to make our jumps across. We're aiming for that doorway at the very end, opposite end of the room. So to get there, we're going to take a couple of run and jumps. This one is kind of a combination of standing jumps and running jumps. Now, this one is a little bit misleading. We don't need to jump to that. Where we're actually going to try to jump to is that platform lower down, because from here we can just hop straight up to here, because there's another switch in here we need to hit. Here we go. And that will raise the last platform we need. And from here, we can take a standing jump to here, and then these two platforms is where we need to be going. And it's removed the two from back behind us. So we're kind of committed to this now, in terms of going forward. I think if you hit the switch again, it does reset them back, but I've never actually tried it, so don't quote me on that. So standing jump, and then one more standing jump to grab up here. Now, right here, there's a really important thing you have to do here. We can get our third secret here, but this has to be done the right way. Once we walk out into this room, we're going to have 3 Atlanteans to deal with. It'll be 2 crawlers and a horseman. What we need to do is step into the room, and then head straight back. And we're going to deal with these from back here. Now, I don't know if we got the horseman. We did. Okay, so the reason we deal with them here, there's a door at the very end of this corridor to the right. And it opens as soon as we run out onto this slope, but it's on a timer, and if we don't get it first try, we just simply don't get it. So, now we're going to take a run and hope to God we make it in time. It is just to the right here. No, we didn't get it. We must have, when we came out, the timer must have started. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go back and do this again. So, let's try again. So this time, we're only going to go out to this first step and come straight back. Yeah, you can hear them moving. They're on their way. There we go. Okay, we need to heal. Oh, it's not 3 horsemen. It's just three of these crawlers. Oh, damn. I wasn't paying attention to my health. Didn't realize I was low. Like, fighting all 3 of these is tough. It's actually such a tough fight. And this level definitely throws that kind of thing at you. There we go. Whoa. Can you stop, please? I think that's all 3 of them. Okay. Let's go for this. No, there's the 3rd one. It's fine. I'll deal with him later. Get out of my way, please. Just trying to make this door. There we go. Oh, come on. Right as I got there? That's just mean. But you can see that that door is open now because we stayed off of the slope. Hopefully this time we can get it. To be honest with you, I think I'm just going to pull out my shotgun here. It's just too close quarters for this. Oh, come on. Okay, I might cut out some of this to the point where we actually manage to kill these guys, and I'll come back then. Okay, we've got all three. It was tough, but we got it. So we're going to take this run now and see if we can make it. So straight in here to the right. And there we go. There is our secret number 3. And albeit getting to this isn't difficult, knowing it's here is probably the hardest part, because you have to know not to go out onto that slope because it'll start the timer. And I don't really think there's any way to kill those 3 Atlanteans and still have the time to get up here to this. It just seems crazy to think that you could. Now, this is probably the cruelest, absolutely cruelest trick in the game. So this lava straight ahead of us, that'll kill us if you touch it. Don't go near it. You got a switch here, you got a door here. I think there's a medipack just behind here. Yeah, there's a large medipack just behind the door. Tantalizing. I will demonstrate what happens. So, you hit the switch, door doesn't open. Lava starts coming at you. There's not really a whole lot you can do. It just keeps on coming. Oh, I didn't realize it stopped there. Huh, look at that. Didn't need to save after all. Where we actually need to go is straight up here. That door doesn't open at all. The medikit is just a decoy to make you hit that switch. So this is where we finally don't have one of the flyers that come out. And this is nearly at the top. This next part up here is where we need to be getting to. So we are nearly there. We still got a lot of work to do, but we're nearly at the top. So a quick run and jump across to here for some more Uzi clips, and we can continue on into the next room. Now, if I remember right, we get a horseman. Oh no, I thought it was a horseman to deal with in here. Maybe there's 2 of them. I feel like there's more than one enemy to deal with in this room, to be honest, but I could be wrong. No, okay, just the one. Is that Uzi clips all that was there? Yes. So we've got another little trap to deal with here. We've got the whatever they're called, doors. We've got some what we haven't seen in ages, little dart traps, but you can't really see it, but there's a boulder at the top of that. You can kind of get a glimpse of it as those doors open. What we need to do is angle ourselves about here, climb up and jump straight back down. The dart traps will activate and the boulder will roll down. But what the boulder rolling down also does is stop those doors opening. So from here, all we have to do is just run straight by. I'd say a lot of people just tried to run straight up that and into the boulder, which probably wasn't their smartest move. So this is the Atlantean throne room. These are, believe it or not, the thrones of the 3 Atlantean leaders. So T for Tehokan, Q for Qualopec, and if it wasn't evident yet, N for Natla. Yes, if it hasn't been realized yet, Natla is one of the old Atlantean leaders. So we're going to grab Natla's throne and push this block through. Through here we have nothing down this way. But down the other way, we have a door with 2 switches. Now, this is important because we have to take one of these routes. I prefer to take the left one. Is it the left one? I'm trying to remember which one is which now. Yeah, the left one I find to be the easier one. Because this just has a drop, a slope, a spike trap. But the other one, you have to deal with a boulder and... what else is there? There's a boulder and a lava pit, I think it is. So, we drop down here. Just hold the jump button. And you'll clear it. You'll be fine. And that's all you have to do. Just clear that trap, and it brings you back around to here. From here, you can see that there's a boulder, and there's... well, you can't actually see it from here, but there's a drop there, at the far end, to a lava trap. And I just find it a much more difficult route to take, personally. And both of them lead you to here, so you can just follow this around, and at the top here is a switch, which opens the door that those other 2 switches were on both sides of. From here, we can keep going up, and it'll drop us out back at the throne room. Except this time, we're on the far side. So, that's this door down, and this trap dealt with. Now, this room is where I was slightly confusing earlier. We have a horseman to deal with. As soon as we walk in, well, it's not as soon as we walk in here. We have to actually go down into the room a little bit. But the egg at the far corner will open, and we'll deal with it in a minute. You can minimize the amount you have to fight in this room by staying away from these red fleshy platforms. Stepping on one will activate the egg above it. And I think there's flyers in there. I only want to deal with the horseman. I'm actually just going to hit a small medipack first because I think he's going to hit me pretty hard. He comes out gun blazing. There we go. And as long as we stay away from those 2 platforms, those other 2 eggs won't open. So we can come down, hit the switch, and we can just clear out of this room and not have any extra work. Slide down here. I wasn't sure if there was a... Oh shit, I forgot about you. Okay, so I mentioned earlier, I think it was the end of the previous episode, that there is probably one of the most iconic parts of this game in this level. And this room is it. This is what is fondly referred to as the doppelganger or the Atlantean Lara. It doesn't exactly look a lot like Lara. It looks kind of creepy, to be perfectly honest. But it mirrors our every move. If we backstep, we go forward. If we side flip, whatever, it mimics everything that we do, including shooting at us. So if we shoot at it, we take damage. That is not the way this goes. One thing to note about this room is it is completely symmetrical. The textures look different. That's rock. And this side is more of the Atlantean architecture, but this place is completely symmetrical. So we need to use our brain to figure this one out. So we go up this rocky side first, and as you can see, what we do, so does our doppelganger. So she's following up, she's climbing up. From here, we jump up to here. She also does so. And from here, we take a running jump across to here. This switch will open the trapdoor behind us here. There is no trapdoor on the far side. We are going to get our doppelganger to fall in here. And the way that we do that is we go to the opposite side. And do the exact same thing. We jump across, standing jump, running jump, and then from here, you can see she's already... Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to fall. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me, game. There we go. Right, so as you can see from here, all we need to do is take a couple of side steps, and as soon as we hit this tile... Oh, it's on a timer! Oh, I didn't know that. But you can see that she is standing on that. So, this is the first time I ever realized this was on a timer, because I don't think I ever fell as many times. So, now that you know that's how this works, we'll do this a little bit faster. With much less demonstrating. You can hear an Atlantean flying around. It's from the previous room. By standing where we are here, it activates one of those eggs from the previous room that I said you can just ignore. So, we take our running jump, and then once we run over this, she falls in, and that's the end of that. So once she falls in there, and once she is disposed of, the door from this side will open. Not sure why that's the trigger, but that's how it goes. You can kind of, if you look down, you can see her dead body. I don't think she drops anything you can get, but it's just one to be aware of. Now, this next room, if it's what I think it is, can be a bit tricky to navigate. I also think there's an enemy in this room somewhere. Pretty sure there's a horseman comes around the corner here. Or maybe not. Okay. Thought there was. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, watch the health. There we go. And then, just to be mean, as we take a couple of steps more forward, there's another one to our right. Which is, I find, to just be a little mean. You know, you come around here, you wouldn't expect it to be there having fought that horseman. But, hey-ho, it is what it is. So we want to go around this way and grab these Uzi clips first. We don't want to hit that switch just yet. We just want to get these Uzi clips because we don't really want to be wasting time picking those up. Because there are two switches in this room, that being one of them. They both do different things, and both of the things they do are on a timer. So what we want to be doing first is hitting this switch. This side. This opens the door that we need to go through. The other switch opens the bridge we need to take to get through the door. So that door to our right there, that's what we've just opened. There's a bridge that we can raise to get to that, which is why we need the other switch. The bridge is on a much shorter timer than the door. So that's why we hit the bridge second. So with both open, we can just swip around and make it across. And just to demonstrate, that's how short the timer on the bridge is. And that's how short the timer is on the door. Not exactly... I can imagine a lot of people would have taken a misstep on that one and hit the bridge first and just not being able to make it. This here, this room, is the very top of this extremely large room. This is the giant square room we've been climbing up the lava at the very bottom. And that egg is the one that we kind of could see glitch through from the bottom. But that's not important at the moment, because right here is the Scion, and by grabbing this, we finish the level. We will get a couple of cutscenes before the... I think it's before we get our level completion screen, so I'm going to let those play out.
You can't do this.
We condemn you, Natla of Atlantis, for your crimes, for the flagrant misuse of your powers, and for robbing us of ours.
You can't,
Breaking the three bond of consent that our people are ruled and secured under, and invading Teopan and myself with our army, our warriors, empty from our pyramid, so that you can use the pyramid, its powers of creation, for your own mindless destruction.
Mindless? Look at you! Neither of you have one squirt of inventive juice in your heads. Wasters.
Let's just do it.
Tehokan!
You use the sacramental place as a source of individual pleasure. As some freak factory.
They're survivalists, a new generation.
A slaughter heap now. And you, we're gonna lock you in limbo. Make your veins, heart, feet, and that diseased brain stick solid with frozen blood. Greet your eternal unrest, Natla!
You won't rest either, or your damned continent death. Back again.
And you? For a grand reopening, I assume.
Evolution's in a rut. Natural selection at an all-time low. Shipping out fresh meat will incite territorial rages again. Will strengthen and advance us. Even create new breeds.
Kind of evolution on steroids, then.
A kick in the pants. Those runts Qualapec and Tehokan had no idea. The cataclysm of Atlantis struck a race of languoring wimps. Plummeted them to the very basics of survival again. It shouldn't happen like that.
Or like this.
Hatching commences in 15 seconds.
Too late for abortions now.
Not without the heart of the operation.
No!
10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that is the end of this level. That is Atlantis completed. 26 kills, 48 pickups, a lot of pickups. 3 out of 3 secrets, so there you have it, all of the secrets gotten so far. 45-minute level, even when you know where you're going. This is a pretty gruelingly long one. The next level, which is the Great Pyramid, is the final level of the game. It starts off with an absolute thumper of a fight. That egg, which it's been counting down to, hatches, and we fight probably the creepiest, but also the most tough enemy in the entire game. And it's impressive, but it's really tough. But I won't spoil too much. You'll see it in the next part. In case it wasn't evident, and in case you're actually trying to follow the plot of how this game works and not just kind of enjoying the platforming and the tomb raiding, what we saw there in that cutscene was a flashback to Natla's imprisonment by Tehokan and Qualapec. I don't know if it gives you any idea of how long ago it is, but it was long enough ago that the Atlantean civilization was thriving. It seems like Natla tried to overthrow the other two, create her own army, invade their lands, whatever it was. So they locked her up, froze her solid, kind of carbonite from Star Wars-esque, and imprisoned her. The cutscene that we got at the very start of the game with the meteor hitting the ground released Natla, and that kind of spurned on the events of this game, with Natla trying to reacquire Atlantis and its ability to create life, which is what all these eggs are and what all the Atlanteans that we're seeing are, because Natla is trying to rebuild the Atlantean civilization, but her own way, with these kind of deformed creatures that she's created so far, all coming to a head with what comes out of this egg in the next part. But we'll see all that in the next level, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped. This is quite a tricky level to get through. The next one, I don't think it's particularly challenging in terms of figuring out where to go or what to do, but it's challenging in its own right because it's quite tough. And we'll get to that in the next part. So, until then, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. I'll talk to you real soon.